Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brianna Christine podcast. We are on episode number 8. I can hardly believe it. I am just so excited. And this episode that I'm bringing you today was with Becky Nelson. Just a little bit of background. I found Becky when I was searching Google for graphic design firms. And when you search design firms in San Diego, Beck's Brands comes up as something like number 2 on the list. I was searching around the website, looking around. I noticed that the website was really well done. I noticed that Becky had been chosen as one of the top people to watch of 2015 by Design USA. And I thought to myself, wow, I gotta get this girl on the show. And so I wrote her an email, and she was gracious enough to give me the honor of interviewing her for this episode. And so that's a little bit of the background. I realized as I was editing the interview that I didn't really talk too much about how I found Becky. And so I hope you really get a lot out of this episode. Becky gives a lot of really great tips for those who are maybe freelancing already and they're ready to take their game to the next level. I also want to apologize in advance. There's some parts of the interview where my husband was working in the attic and he was hammering, and I had pretty much forgotten to remind him that the interview's at 10, so sorry I tried to edit some of it out, but I couldn't get it all out. Hopefully it's not too distracting. Alright, that's enough setup. Let's dive right in, and I hope you enjoy this interview with Becky Nelson of becksbrands.com. Alright everyone, so we have Becky Nelson with us on the Brianna Christine podcast today. Thanks for joining us, Becky.
Thank you so much.
Could you tell me a little bit about Beck's Brands?
We are a branding firm, meaning we try to discover the DNA of the brand and express it in whichever way the client needs. Generally, we've been focusing a lot on packaging.
That's awesome. How did you start out in packaging? Was that your original focus?
It wasn't. We worked with a lot of restaurants, and one of our clients from our restaurant decided they wanted to bottle some juice. And as Beck's Brands, we hadn't done a whole lot of packaging. I did a bunch of freelance before in which I had some experience, but not a ton. The brand that the restaurateur brought us in on was Suja juice, and they've become fairly successful. And so we've been requested to do a lot more packaging, which is great.
Okay, so Suja was kind of like your first big client?
As Beck's Brands, yes.
Okay. So how has Beck's Brands developed? Were you just Becky when you were freelancing and then you've developed into Beck's Brands, or how did that transition happen?
Yeah, exactly. I started freelancing for other agencies and did that for quite a while, actually. And then at some point we started getting clients directly coming, or I started getting clients directly coming to me. My boyfriend and now husband who was doing the same thing on his own, and when we joined forces, it just seemed to click. We got a lot more business that way.
That's awesome. So would you suggest going into a partnership as a business owner, as a graphic designer, or is there some benefit to just staying on your own and being a solo freelancer?
Yeah, it's different for everyone. There's a ton more time into starting your own business, making it so. Some people who are graphic designers are of the creative mindset and don't like to deal with budgets and timelines and client management and rent and all these other things that aren't super fun by any means, but is part of being a business owner. So some people are made for doing all of it, and some people are made for just doing the creative stuff.
Okay. So between you and your husband, who does more of the business stuff?
We share those responsibilities.
Okay. Do you have any designers or any other people that work for you?
We do. We have one full-time employee, Daniela, who's on our website. She's amazing. And we have a couple freelancers that we use from time to time as far as design, and all our copywriting is done on a freelance basis between a few people, and web programming as well for whoever's suited best for whatever project we're on.
Okay, so you kind of choose your freelancers based on it per project. There's no like go-to, except for maybe Danielle.
Daniela, she's our full-time person. She can wear a lot of hats. She can do it all. So yeah, she's our go-to for sure. But yes, the other ones are sort of selected on a per project basis.
How do you decide when you need a freelance designer?
Yeah, just whatever. I mean, if we say we want something that's rustic and black and white and cut paper or whatever, we'll seek out those people that best suit that style.
Okay. So when I searched Google for graphic design firms in San Diego, I noticed that Beck's Brands was one of the first ones to show up. Is that thanks to Danielle?
Yes, part of it is definitely the design of the website. The other part is, if you look at a lot of different graphic design studios, their copy is somewhat limited. Many times graphic designers don't like to write a lot. They like to let the work speak for itself. Mm-hmm. We kind of like to talk to people about the process and bring them along a little bit on the story. And that just sort of naturally enhances your searchability and your SEO. So.
Okay. What's your number one recommendation for designers to kind of boost their SEO?
To me, I would say, talk about your projects, tell them what you used, tell them the process that it took. I would also say keep your the blog part of your website up to date. That's probably what I would recommend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on being named as one of 2015's People to Watch. How did you get recognized for that prestigious title?
They emailed us and told us that we were going to be included. So it was.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're really nice people over there at
Do you know somebody there maybe that knows who you are and they know what you do? So maybe they recommended you and so they called you?
I mean, we have friendly correspondence because we entered their design competitions.
Oh, okay.
But that's really the extent of it.
Whose design competitions did you enter?
It's Graphic Design USA. It's a publication, and those are the people who recognized us on that. So
awesome. Becky, do you have a family? Do you have kids?
We do not have kids. We have a dog who you saw on the website, Tater, and of course my husband, Jeremy.
Okay, so do you feel like between your job and your married life that it's pretty balanced?
I would say because Jeremy and I work together and we're married, and the dog comes with us to work every day. I wouldn't necessarily say there's a balance because it all kind of flows together. There's not really boundaries so much for us between work and life. So right now, as a family, we're focused a lot on growing the business. So that is a life. but are we out traveling and doing a lot of other things besides working? Probably the last couple of years, would be fair to say not a whole lot. But we love it. We love what we do, and we're excited about growing the business. So this is just kind of our goal right now.
It's awesome to hear that you love what you do. I think that's why most of us go into this business.
Yes, love what I do. I'm not the best designer on the planet by any means. There are a million people who I look at their work and I say, wow, that's incredible work. That's amazing. It happens weekly, daily, hourly, practically. I mean, I feel like where my strength is about thinking about the consumer and how that's being communicated. And I think that's where my strength sort of lies. But I love doing it. I love challenging myself to become a better designer every day because you can only get better. I guess you could get worse too. If
you don't practice, right?
If you don't practice, yeah. So
in what ways do you grow your company each year?
In terms of yearly goals and things like that, one of our things is learning how to promote ourselves, learning how to take risks, I guess, as far as a company, and determining who to partner with to help grow our company. Clients really can make or break it. We're really picky about who we work with as far as clients. If a client approves some amazing work, it can really help you. of course the opposite is also true. So we try to be very careful about who our partners are.
How do you find your partners? Do you get a lot of word of mouth? Do you promote yourself at events or anything like that?
We don't promote ourselves at events. We try to keep our website up to date. We try to enter into awards. The Die Line is a great blog site. We try to submit our things to a couple others, Packaging of the World. If we see one, and if we have a moment, we try to make sure we do that. But we don't really do events or things like that.
Considering your level of success, it seems like entering award shows could be a great way for designers who are just starting out.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. What it does, it helps the SEO, of course. When a client comes to you, in fact, a lot of times they're nervous. They don't, in our business, you put down a certain amount of money and kind of hope and pray that you come back with something that you'll love. So having awards behind you, I think, gives potential clients a certain amount of reassurance that what you're going to do is going to help them and is going to help their company get better sales. So from that extent, it does help get new business. I don't think potential clients are going through Graphic Design USA and looking for graphic designs.
Yeah. So where do you draw your inspiration for the work that you make?
Anywhere. I try not to stay too focused on other graphic design. I find that to be a little bit incestuous. So if I can find a different way to get inspiration, that's always amazing.
So you don't spend a lot of time on Pinterest?
I do.
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
gonna lie, I do. But if we can find inspiration by going to like an heirloom seed store or going to a movie,
Totally.
or reading. Even reading gives you mental pictures in your head that can be more unique, I feel like. So drawing inspiration from other places besides just graphic design, I think, is super helpful, and getting a bigger perspective on different types of customers and what appeals to them and why they get excited at a 99-cent store, maybe. I don't know.
Totally.
Yeah.
Do you do anything to build your skills on the side of your business or after working hours? Or is it kind of like you do it all day, you just want a break?
Yeah, for a long time I was taking classes at night, especially when we made that sort of transition from being freelance to Beck's Brands. Personally, I had a lot to learn about running a business, so definitely I took a lot of stuff on that, but design stuff as well. Took some Chinese brush painting classes back in the day. Yeah, just different stuff to keep your mind sort of excited about the process.
What project are you the most proud of since starting Beck's Brands?
There are a few. Suja, of course, is wonderful because there's nothing more exciting than doing something that, a design that you feel proud of and strongly about, and it gets on shelves and people respond to it. That's amazing. There's a lot. We really get very, very excited about most projects because we like our clients a lot. We make sure that happens, that there's some sort of vibing going on, and when you see your client get excited, when you see customers start to respond, and that's just a huge reward.
Definitely. What advice do you have for designers and other creatives that want to go from freelance to having their own business? A lot.
A lot. Yeah, be choosy about your clients. And that's a hard thing to do when you need work. But if you can, they can make a project great and keep you inspired and get you more work down the line, or they can do the opposite. And stay on top of budgets and timelines and things like that. Those things clients really appreciate.
Okay, so I know the hardest part for a lot of business owners can be just starting out. Could you tell us a little bit more about how you started out and what that was like?
Yeah, it wasn't easy. Yeah, I guess my approach, and I didn't do a whole lot of promoting, and maybe that would have sped things up, I'm not sure. my approach was really just to do the best work I possibly could when I was given the opportunity. That's always worked well for me. So.
Okay. Did you have like a job on the side, maybe like a bridge job between you and your freelance work?
I did not. When I first started out freelancing, for the very first time I went to I was with a staffing company.
Got it.
And that was really my start. And helpful because they just get you the work. So.
Okay, so what staffing company did you go with? Was it here in San Diego?
I did it in LA when I first started freelancing there, and then I did it down in San Diego once for a few months. I think it was Aquent in LA, I think. God, it was so long ago.
Did you kind of take any job that they offered you when you were first starting, or were you selective then also?
No, when I was with the temp agency, I just had to take whatever, like I said, be choosy when you can.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can't, so.
Okay, so maybe for someone like me, someone trying to expand their client base, a temp agency might be a good idea.
Yeah, some people are really great at promoting themselves, and in a temp agency, I think they take a lot. They take a big percentage. So if you can do that yourself, then awesome. That wasn't my strong suit, so I did it with the headhunter. So
cool. I'm glad to know that you had success doing that, because I've been kind of on the fence of whether or not that's a good route to go.
Yeah, everyone's different. I'd hate to make a blanket statement and say yes, do it, or don't do it. Everyone's different.
All right, Becky. Well, thank you so much for being on the Brianna Christine podcast today. Could you tell my listeners where they could find you if they wanted to find you online?
Sure. You can go to bexbrands.com.
All right. And maybe we can interview again sometime.
Sure, no problem. All right, thanks. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Becky. My two biggest takeaways from the show were to start entering design competitions and to start working with a recruiter. And actually, after we recorded this interview, I called my agent for Vitamin T, which is the recruiter that I go through down here in San Diego, and they were actually able to get me in the process to start connecting me with some more clients. So right on, Becky. Thanks for that tip. If you would like to support this show, please like and subscribe on SoundCloud. And if you would like to connect with me, Brianna, on social media, you can find me on Facebook or on Instagram at Brianna Christine Designs or at BriannaChristineDesigns.com. All right, and I'll see you in the next episode.